Hello everyone, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not and you're a subscriber, thank you very much. Welcome back. Now, you know that despite the channel name, it's not always about the Tesla Model 3. I have a love of everything electric. So having said that, the latest trend, if you've noticed, if you've been to San Francisco, New York City, Toronto, whatever, the latest trend is all these scooters that are going around, the Birds, the Limes, that type of thing. And last year I bought an electric scooter type bike. But I decided this year I would do something a little different and actually replace it with one of these newer scooters. So I thought I'd take the plunge. However, I wanted to make sure that I would get something that's unique to review on the channel. So after quite a bit of research, I narrowed it down and I finally decided to take the plunge. So I just got my package, so let's go and do an unboxing so you guys can see exactly what I got. So here it is. This is what I ordered. It is a Mercane, I think that's how it's pronounced. It's a wide wheel. Now, after doing quite a bit of research and looking around, there's the Xiaomi's, there's a bunch of others you can get on Amazon. This one really piqued my interest because it's dual motor. So it has a motor in the front and a motor in the rear. And I had some criteria to make sure that I got what I was interested in. Namely, it had to be unique. I wanted some extra performance, some decent range, and it also has to fit in the front trunk of my Tesla Model X. All right, so let's open this thing up and see what happens. Nutmeg, you want to help out? You just want to get in the box, don't you? I know you. Hey, you want to get in the box, buddy? All right, give me 2 minutes here and you can get in. Pro tip for you: if you're thinking about getting cats, don't bother with toys. Boxes are the best toy when it comes to cats. Please read. We'll take a look at that in a moment. This is a little box in here. This has the charger. So a North American cable with the charger box. There's a tool in here, some Allen keys. You can never have enough Allen keys. There's the user manual. We'll take a look at that later. It is not light, that's for sure. So I'll have to clean it up. There's a little bit of packing dust on here. So here are a few things. You'll notice here that the handlebars are collapsible. A lot of them are basically just a T-shape and they don't collapse. So this is one of the things that attracted me to this unit here. And to upright the thing, you just turn this a few turns, push in a little bit more, push in, and it releases a little bit more. And it should go into the upright position. And just twist the knob and that should hold it into position. Now there are other scooters on the market where there's a quick release lever. Now there are a couple of exposed wires. There's one right here, there's one here in the back, and because this has a front motor, there's one here at the front. It is protected by some of the spiral wrap on there, but I'm going to be changing that. I have some red split loom. One of the nice features about this unit though is that it has dual suspension. So there's suspension in the front, there's suspension on the rear. And as I mentioned earlier, it has two motors, and both of the motors, believe it or not, 500 watts apiece. Some of the reviews I read online, this thing just goes like stink. Yeah, we'll just clean it up a little bit here and I'll show you some more of the features. Unfortunately, we can't test it today on account of the weather. It is snowing like crazy, so that'll have to wait. So today is just basically an unboxing. So you'll see here on the wide wheel that it has two collapsible handlebars and they just kind of click into position. You just pull back on the collars and they come right down. It takes 2 seconds to do. One of the disadvantages of this unit compared to some of the others on the market is that there is no app connection for anything on this. There's not much customization. So it's a bit of a toss-up. In this case, I wanted performance and good suspension and decent range, and I can live without the apps on there. But it does have 3 modes in there. There's an eco mode, performance mode, and there's also cruise control on that. We'll cover that a little bit later. But you have a throttle on this side. On this side here, you have a physical brake. Some of the other units have kind of regenerative braking. This one does not. It has a physical brake here on the back. Let's see if it'll power up. Okay, so there you go. That's what you basically get. According to the manual, if you press and hold until it flashes, you should be able to get. So this is eco mode. Press it again. You go into, I believe that's performance mode. It does have a headlight with a single click. Again, it's not one of the brightest out on the market, but I don't have plans on riding this in the night anyways. And the scooter comes with a very basic sort of a half moon bell. So we'll install that right here so it doesn't interfere with the collar that has to come down. So I've taken a little bit of time here to jazz up the scooter a little bit. I put some red nylon loom on some of the exposed wires just to protect it, and you know what, it's just visual. But I wanted to give you a little bit more specifics about the scooter, just so you know. So this unit has 2 motors. So there's a 500 watt hub motor in the rear and another one in the front. Independent suspension. The battery is actually located underneath the deck. There's a plastic plate here and I've removed it. The deck is, oh, by the way, the battery is 13.9 amp hours. I opted for the larger battery just for extra range and because, you know, you're powering a second motor here, so it's worthwhile to have a bigger battery. Anyway, so getting back here, the deck is aluminum. It's cast. It's really well made. The plastic belly pan, on the other hand, I wish it was metal, but this thing is heavy enough as it is. Let's take a little tour here. You can see here on the rear has an independent suspension. This is all cast aluminum right up in here. The light does come on, by the way. It has a plasticish fender on there. 4-inch wide wheels on the back, and these are relatively soft rubber, and there's a polyurethane middle layer, I think, off to the aluminum hub. And then you have this grip tape, very similar to like a skateboard on the top deck. This is your charge port. It uses a, I forget what those are called. They have a specific name, and it escapes me right now, but that's typical for RC cars, drones type of connectors. This is all cast aluminum in here. I mean, the thing is really, really well built, but it is not lightweight by any stretch of the imagination. You know, compared to some of the other units on the market, this is one of the heftier ones. But you know what? If you're spending this kind of money, I think this one here, in terms of what the features that it offers, fits a need, say, between a Xiaomi M365 or an ES2, which are quite common in the scooter industry. This one is a little higher. It's a little bit more expensive, but it is by no means the most expensive type of scooter you can get on the market. You can certainly go crazy with power, 2,400 watts, 6,000 watts. This one sells for about $999 fully equipped as it is right now in US dollars. Let's take another look around this side here. This is the turn knob, and you just turn that about 7 or 8 times, push on it, and the whole arm comes down. The whole arm is steel, and as you can see here, there's the control panel. Decent grips. I might change those out with something a little bit of a flatter profile in here like I have on my mountain bike, just a little bit of rest there. A real physical brake. You can see here that it definitely operates on there. Very good brakes on this thing. It has a kick and go feature, so you pretty much have to give it a little kick. But I almost fell over on this thing in the house because it's got crazy amount of power. By the way, there is a kickstand. I added a little rubber foot on the bottom, mainly because I didn't want to scratch up my floors. We'll see how this lasts in due time, but just here for the house for now, I just put that little kickstand on there. Anyways, from a build quality, I'm very impressed. This thing is really nice. I wouldn't want to be carrying this thing up a bunch of flight of stairs if you're going to use one of these things for, say, last mile travel or whatever. It is rather heavy, but anyways, I'll have to wait for the better weather to get out and give you my impressions of it. But so far, build quality is excellent, and I really like the parts. So stay tuned, and once the weather warms up, I'll give you my thoughts on riding it. Thanks for watching. See ya.